We're seeing more of low-cost airline operators opening up routes and, of course, the travel market in Africa. And what such is Mango, which is an airliner which will be traveling from South Africa to Zanzibar, more of opening it up, and will be using the Lanseria International Airport. Could they be, of course, opening up the African market to travel opportunities and tourism, especially for those who wanted a bit more affordable? Well, of course, today we're talking to the CEO of Lanseria International Airport, Mr. Rampa Ramopo. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Absolutely. I think this is exciting news coming from both Mango and Lanseria International Airport. When did you come to this decision?
Well, we've been talking to Mango Airlines for quite some time, and they actually indicated to us that they like our model and they're considering a partnership with us. And one of the routes that they wanted to first launch is the Zanzibar route. And after about 6 to 8 months of negotiations, we launched this route on the 1st of June this year. We had a demo launch in March of this year, which went very well. And from there, Mango never looked back. But they've also teamed up with various tour operators in South Africa to promote the route, to promote Zanzibar. And with those tour operators, they're coming up with various packages, that are affordable to the market. And we had a tremendous showing in terms of the support in the last month that we launched the route. In fact, Mango, on average, were generating load factors of about 90% on the route. This is the number of passengers that are traveling per aircraft, given the aircraft capacity. So it's been such a success for us, and we're looking forward to launching more routes with Mango into the region.
And then looking at the tourism economy, what opportunities are also available that come with this decision that you've made?
Well, we've actually had conversations with some of our counterparts in the region, especially in Zanzibar, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe, in Namibia, as well as Kenya. So together with Mango, we're looking at a number of these tourist destinations in those regions. For example, Livingstone in Zambia, I think, and Big Falls also in Zimbabwe. But Mango is quite excited about this, So I think the Zanzibar route has actually made them see that there is an opportunity out there, and especially because we had such a high turnout of people wanting to travel to those kind of destinations.
Right. And I don't think it's just Mango, but also Lanseria as, an airport that's definitely positioning itself as a leader to make quite these unpopular, collaborations and partnerships, opening up more of the tourism economy and market, but also travel opportunities for South Africans. Yes. Can we see many more of, such decisions and partnerships in future?
Well, everybody's talking about collaboration. In fact, I've attended a number of conferences, aviation-related and tourism conferences, and people are talking collaboration. We're putting that into practice. We've had discussions with SA Tourism, for example, with the Gauteng Tourism Authority, with Northwest Tourism, as well as the Cradle of Humankind. And with those entities, organizations, we've agreed that we're going to first enter into memorandum of agreements that will regulate how we're going to operate with one another, how you're going to regulate the relationship. And the primary objective of that is to promote tourism. I think in South Africa, domestic tourism in particular, we're seeing a decline in that market in the last year, in the first quarter of this year. And I believe that if we can collaborate more with the likes of SA Tourism and GTA, we'll be able to improve on those numbers. But internationally as well, SA Tourism have actually given us an undertaking that for every route that we introduce into the market, they will assist us on the other side because they've got representation in some of these regions to be able to promote those routes for us. And of course, we're looking for a partnership with like-minded airline operators. I think with Mango, we know that we've got one, but we're talking to some of the regional airline operators as well to be able to introduce these routes from Lanseria.
All right, that's the CEO of Lanseria International Airport. And of course, they're opening up their routes from South Africa right here in Lanseria all the way to Zanzibar. But we're not just going to stop here. I'm leading you up next to the West African region, where there's a competitive sport and you just need strong arms to participate.
Alpha SOGOBA is fast becoming a well-known name in Mali's arm wrestling circuit. The 27-year-old, who lives in the capital, Bamako, spends his days pumping iron and follows a rigorous regime drawn up by his trainer.
I have loved arm wrestling since I was really young. At that time, I couldn't lift weights, but I would go to all the events wherever they were. I would mimic the athlete's actions, and then I went for it. I started lifting metal bars. I didn't touch the weight plates. When you love something, you find a way and means to get it.
He recently took part in his first international competition, the African Arm Wrestling Championship, which Mali hosted this year. Established in 1977, the World Arm Wrestling Federation has a much larger number of followers in the US and Russia. But the sport is gaining traction in Africa, and more than 300 athletes from the continent, including from Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast and Senegal, participated in the three-day contest. SOGOBA missed out on first place, but came third in his 80-kilogram category.
It's the first time I have participated in an African competition. All my matches before have been in the street. Unfortunately, I was eliminated in the semi-final. I prepared for this African Cup well, and I was aiming for the trophy, but I was stopped in the semi-final stage. I am third, and this was not what I had been hoping for, but that is sport. There has to be a winner and a loser. God decides who wins or loses. The referee worked against us too. The rules of the game changed, and I need to learn the international rules.
SOGOBA said none of the referees spoke French or his native Bambara, leaving him in the dark over the rules of the game for international matches. But the athlete is determined to keep competing, living on a diet of beans, fried bananas and fish to build up his strength.
The World Health Organization has declared the DRC's Ebola outbreak as an international health emergency. Now, this, of course, threatens to spread to other neighboring countries. But with that said, the UN donor countries, as well as their health officials, have now traveled to South Sudan to discuss prevention efforts.
The World Health Organization sounded a rare global alarm on Wednesday, declaring the Democratic Republic of Congo's Ebola outbreak an international emergency. It's only the fifth disease epidemic to have been given that status. Since the outbreak 11 months ago, almost 1,700 people have died. The WHO has previously said hundreds of millions of dollars are needed to prevent it from spreading and costing even more loss of life. Nearby countries are most at risk, but despite its emergency status, the WHO says it's not yet a global threat. It's calling on the international community to not place travel or trade restrictions on the unstable region.
Such restrictions force people to use informal and unmonitored border crossings, increasing the potential for the spread of disease.
Communities are helping to educate people on how to protect themselves from the disease. That and a campaign of vaccinations had helped keep it confined to 2 provinces in northeast Congo. But with the death of a pastor in a city of 2 million people, the WHO says there's, quote, worrying signs of a possible extension to the epidemic.
Now, when we come back, we have a conversation with an avid African traveler. She talks about her book as well. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. This is #AfricaAct. We'll be right back.